Now you can free yourself to work the hours you want, when you want in an industry or occupation that is meaningful to you. You don't have to meet the necessities of life by selling your time. Financial freedom is not the end of everything, it's just a milestone. After that, the journey called growth still has a long way to go. Once you pass that milestone, your goal becomes clear. That is when you can sell everything but your time. Time is scarce and non-renewable, so it's often referred to as a precious. At the last moment of life, the way you calculate efficiency may be different from mine, but we can still agree to disagree. The difference in the value efficiency of life for different people. We're back on the road to financial freedom. Right now, you still have to sell your time before reaching that milestone, and that's going to be a long time coming. At the stage where you have to trade your time for the necessities of life, don't just think of a job as a job, but really give your life. Time is life, and working hard can be interpreted as a profound description, right? So in order to avoid some detours, you must sell your time wisely and correctly during this period. As long as someone sells something, someone buys it. Usually there can be a person both being a buyer and being a seller, and the same is true in this case. You're selling your time, and you can't avoid buying other people's time. Before entering a trade, a savvy trader should know two things: the bottom line of trading and the strategies they plan to implement. Both the buyer and seller must make their best guess. Here are the 3 iron laws you need to know before you can trade time with people, which can be regarded as the bottom line of time trading, but unlike trading in financial markets, the bottom line there is the boundary of some regulatory policies. And if you want to move towards financial freedom in the trading field of time, your bottom line is far more than just no illegality, no disorderly discipline. In fact, the threshold for any kind of time trading is set really high, which means that there are always not very many people who can reach a certain level and advance towards the goal of financial freedom. Rule 1: growth is the key. Again, success is not the end, it's just one of many milestones. In many middle schools in our country, teachers will mobilize students before the college entrance examination. As long as you do what you do, you can succeed in the battlefield of the college entrance examination. A high college entrance exam score is often seen as a marker of success, but while it may be an important milestone partway through our lives, it's not the end or the pinnacle of success. Success is something that will be required throughout life to keep progressing. Why have we been so concerned about using milestone thinking? Or why are you so opposed to terminal thinking? Modern people still hope they'll get to see the end of their lives soon. They hope to slow down and tone down their pace of life and reduce stress, because in the hard years, our ancestors just completed reproduction and reproduction. For now, many species are running out of fuel after mating. But it took so long for modern humans to get here, and we have conditions that allow us to have a long life after mating to create a more valuable civilization. Very few people had the foresight to realize that what happened in our lives was not the end of the story, but another milestone. They are the leaders of this point of view, and they later became the people with financial freedom, people who have more wealth. In essence, this milestone thinking reflects a kind of spirit. When human genes are still far behind the development of human civilization, some people rely on the power of thinking to break through the control of genes on our behavior. In order to grow, you have to choose. Don't be misled into believing that you have no choice, in most cases at least. You can always make a choice. On the one hand, you can choose to follow this iron rule and stay on track. Or, if you want to be more flexible and explore different paths, just use the rule as a guide. In the end, everything is your choice. It's not uncommon for people to be unaware that these options are available. They don't know how to judge when they have a choice, which is why this article is here to help. One criterion for selection is enough. Does the thing I choose make me stronger? Now that takeout is very developed, when I go out to take out, I often think that so many people sell their time for such a cheap price, and then they do things that are completely incapable of accumulation. What will they do in the future? A contradicting milestone of financial freedom is what you might call a stable, and likely well-paying, job. Think about it: stability, no breakthrough, no need for growth, no need for further study. There is a sense of accomplishment that comes with the security and stability of working like this. However, it prevents you from making any progress and is not fulfilling. Civil servants may come to mind first, but I have to brutally give another sad example: primary school teachers, secondary school teachers. The stability of the work environment means that as long as people in your industry can teach those textbooks that have remained unchanged for decades, most teachers will find their abilities stagnating after a couple of years and not be able to gather new knowledge. For them, there's really no end in sight. For the foreseeable future, the milestone of financial freedom will always be far away from these people, and getting further and further away. They may be approaching that milestone with their heart set on financial freedom. But if you just stay where you are, no matter how hard you try, how can you get closer to your goal? Efforts without the ability to accumulate are just standing still. A fact that cannot be ignored is that the world is getting better. In my opinion, one of the signs that the world has changed for the better is that people are benefiting from what they are capable of. Truly talented people are able to shine because they're given an opportunity to succeed. The ability to access information has never been cheaper, so there's no need for ideas to be buried. People who are good at one thing will naturally be able to do this other thing better, which makes their skill set more diverse. Therefore, the difference between people, which is invisible on the surface, is actually very different, even infinite. It is the difference in the accumulation of ability. Therefore, every choice you make should be with the idea of gaining more capacities. When making decisions, ask yourself what your next choice will help you achieve, and whether the new potential will help develop your existing skills. There's a trap that many people fall into. If they make a choice, after making it, they consider if their previous abilities are still practical. This is still terminal thinking, not milestone thinking. As a result, most people are less and less likely to acquire new abilities. This is because they have been imprisoned by their own abilities without it even realizing it. The best way to think is considering which abilities are already there that can be transferred over, and which new ones you can acquire.